Welcome to another exciting episode of the Luminary Panel, the entrepreneurial podcast where we fuel minds with insights and inspirations. My name is Liliana Fidua, and I'm so excited to introduce Jamie Miller, a communication expert with a decade of experience speaking to audiences, from national corporations to one-on-one coaching sessions across the globe. Jamie has mastered the art of effective communication and has built a customized coaching platform designed to help entrepreneurs and businesses elevate their messaging. Jamie believes that communication is key to success in all industries, whether it's cybersecurity, real estate, finance, or entrepreneurship. If you're looking to refine your communication strategies, whether it's just for phone calls, in-person meetings, or public speaking, Jamie's expertise could be just what you need. Stay tuned as we explore how Jamie's insights can bring real value and support to your business in today's episode.
At the Luminary Panel, our mission is to become an immediate resource to you as the aspiring entrepreneur. With that being said, we've partnered with SCG, Shamaa Consultant Group, the business development one-stop shop. They have everything you need as far as marketing, benchmarking, and so much more, so that we, as the Luminary Panel and SCG, can help you thrive in your business. All right, we back with another episode of the Luminary Panel, and we have a special guest. We had to schedule this 2 or 3 months in advance because this guy's a superstar. He's gonna be humble about it, but Mr. Jamie Miller, how you doing, man?
You're right. I am going to be humble about it. Thank you for that, Johnson. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So, I'm super excited about this conversation because I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding what communication actually is at the highest level.
Okay.
And I think people don't connect the dots between how to effectively communicate and then just talking.
Right.
Am I making sense?
Well, so one of the first things that I teach people in communication is understanding this notion of a lot of people want to go out there and tell people why they should be valued, and they're passionate about what they're doing. So what they'll end up doing because of that and the passion, they start oversharing. And in communication, if you do want to get out of a conversation the ultimate situation, you actually want the other person doing the talking.
Yeah.
So if, for example, like you just said, communication is so important, people get it wrong.
Yeah.
In my head, this is your podcast. Yeah. I'm like, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
All right. Like, why do you think that, Johnson?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm throwing an interview. I'm taking control of the interview, and I'm asking you, and now you get to show me even more why someone out there should value me.
Yeah.
It's like if you say, tell me about yourself. Most interviewers start, well done, you're original. Why? Because you didn't say, hey, Jamie, tell me all about yourself as the first thing. And if you would have said, Jamie, tell me about yourself, I practice what I preach. I wouldn't just start being like, well, you can probably tell I'm not from here with the way I sound. I've been doing this for X amount of years, and I would throw it back to you and be like, hey, that's interesting you say to tell me about yourself, right? What do you think your audience would like to know more about?
Yeah.
My professional existence, or would they like to know about my personal life? What have I done? It's not that I'm not willing to answer a question.
Yeah.
It's that most people in communication don't realize when they're being asked something, how can I elevate how can I go into a conversation with a more predetermined outcome?
That's so good. So now I'm going to ask you about yourself, but in a different way.
Okay.
How did Jamie realize that the art of communication was the way to get him into becoming a phenomenon?
So I call it a Jerry Maguire moment. I'm older than you, but Jerry Maguire was a famous movie. Well, it's a well-known movie amongst maybe your audience will know Jerry Maguire. But he basically, in the movie, Tom Cruise has this sleepless night where he's like, how can I best provide value like in the world to my clients.
Yeah.
For me, that moment, December 2018, I just had this I wanted to change. I didn't want to travel anymore like on somebody else's schedule. I'd like to do it on my own, which I think by now I'm big on time. That's why. All right.
How old were you then?
I was 42 at that point. So 5 years ago. So I think that's a great testament that you don't have to be young like an Iman, all right, to necessarily start your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
Are there certain ingredients that you have to overcome? Yes. Is communication and self-talk important?
Yes. Yeah.
I think for me, I was so disciplined throughout a couple of decades prior to of studying people, not in a scientific way where I like kept like these checks of ones.
Yeah.
But I took communication seriously enough in a sales arena to analyze, if I keep saying this, what reaction do I get? And I'll give you an example where very few people actually do this at this level.
Yeah.
If you go to a store like Macy's or somewhere, all right, you walk into these big stores, and just because you're good at communication doesn't mean you're better than anybody else, by the way. Just because someone has more money than you, no better than you, all right? It's just what is their conscious knowledge of communication.
Yeah.
I give you an example. If I put you on the spot, you go into a big store, sales clerk comes up to you. What is the one question you always get asked by someone when you walk into a store? Just an example for your audience. What would that be?
Can I help you find something?
Can I help you find something? That's the one question, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't tell you before the interview. I'm going to do that, right?
Yeah.
So now let's look at that. What do 10 out of 10 people typically respond to that person?
I'm just looking around.
I'm just looking, thanks. Okay. So if I'm a salesperson and I'm studying my communication and I make commission, they make commission.
Yeah.
And I know that if I ask someone, hey, can I help you?
Yeah.
They're going to say, no, I'm just looking, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, Einstein came way before me, and I'm certainly no Einstein. Yeah, Einstein says the definition of insanity is you keep doing the same thing and you get
over and over again.
But you get the same result, right?
Yeah.
So instead of like saying, for an example, hey, can I help you? Because I know 10 out of 10, I'm going to say, no, I'm just looking, thanks. I'm going to tweak that. And I'll give you an example. I'll use the word yet consciously in a question, because the word yet, when you use it in a question, it doesn't matter whether they say yes or no to me.
Wow.
All right. I'll give you an example. So someone comes in a store. I've always believed that I could get hired by Macy's or somewhere and get paid millions for a 5-minute training, because that's all it's a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
If you come in my store, I'll be like, hey, mate, have you seen anything you like yet? You can say to me, yes, I have. Great. But if you say, no, I haven't, all right, then I'll say, now I'm going to elevate the conversation. Do you know what? I had someone come in, similar, and I showed them this section over here, and they absolutely loved it. And by the way, if you don't see something over there, we can look around the store. Now, the next part is reading the body language. If I'm reading the body language, I just want you to leave me alone. I'm just going to make us the same, because people buy from people they feel the same as. So I'll be like, you know what? You like me. I'll use the words consciously. You like me. You just like to browse and look around. Just so you know, when you see something that you love, just know I'm here to help you.
When?
Yeah, I'm not saying if, like, because if I say if you find something, like when you see something you love, you got to realize the sales clerk didn't hold a gun to the person's head to come into the store. The person has come into your store. I'm just making the. I've had people be like, "Oh my god, that's amazing." I'm like, it's just elevating. It doesn't mean someone's gonna. It just means you're elevating the response rate. It's like I was giving a training for realtors today, and it's like they in that industry they think having long phone calls and a lot of discovery questions on the phone is helpful. I'm like, no, like it's like, how quickly can I take a cold call, make it warm, and on top of that, get a meeting in the near future without keeping that person
that's so good
on the phone. And again, so I just basically studied. If I say this word, what reaction do I get? Oh, that's not good. And then to cut a long story short, it was like, can I teach other people how to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Not need a British accent
Mm-hmm.
to do it. You understand the frame. There's no script. There's a framework to a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and just be more conscious.
Yeah. Does that make it makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you brought in the analogies, because I'm sure people will be like, okay, well, you can say it like that, but how am I supposed to do it in the real life? So now they use it.
Well, you said analogies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I usually, again, I never know the framework of an interview and how it's going to go, and I actually like the challenge of you throw anything at me, and I'm as a guest, it's nice. Is it nice for you? Like, it's just abundance. It's like if someone can walk away with clarity,
that's it.
We were talking outside there. I'm not an accountability person, so I'm never going to turn around. Did you do these things? It's more about.
Hold on one sec.
Okay. Did it capture? It captured it. Yeah, okay, good. So you talk about analogies. Do you like it when someone gives you a compliment? It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Nice thing. So one of the compliments, and the way I teach, I call it, and I don't know how familiar you are with Karate Kid, but I call it wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
So when Daniel's being told by Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off in the Karate Kid, Daniel's like, what has this got to do with, karate? And by the end of the movie, it was everything to do with karate.
Yeah.
So I use analogies to break down, because the same conversation I'm having to get my kids to do what it is I want them to do.
Yeah.
Same exact conversation I'm going to have. It transfers personal, professional. I get people to connect those dots for themselves.
Yeah.
So that they can understand right now is a wax on, wax off moment.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So you were mentioning that 2018, you figured that you want to add value to the world, right?
Right.
At 42, how was that mentally for you to step into entrepreneurship? I don't know if you were an entrepreneur before, or like, how was that for you mentally? And then how did you get yourself out of that rut of thinking like, oh, I may be too old, or, oh, I'm not equipped enough, or I don't know if I'm prepared for it?
It feels interesting you say that, because I'm just like all of the above. Like, like it's initially where my gut goes.
Yeah.
So I was blessed. I think we all have miscellaneous ingredients as growing up. One of those was my dad was an entrepreneur. Like, he didn't have a boss. The last boss he had, he was 16 years of age.
Wow.
So I think there was some miscellaneous ingredients poured in. Yeah, I can share with you. I was always in even if they tried to say it wasn't a corporate environment, until 42, I was pretty much in a corporate kind of environment.
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't be doing any fair justice in making it educational for people watching. The hardest thing is the leap in the first place. That's the hardest part. And a lot of people ask, can anyone be an entrepreneur? Like, it would be lovely to say yes, everyone could be entrepreneurial. I think it takes a lot of anti-programming.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I could have. Okay, so the best way I can do, and hopefully you like this, because like, I'm going to use you as an example. Just the same way I said, what do you get asked in a store?
Yeah.
Can I help you? Every time a thought comes to your head, as I go like this, say the first word that pops in your mind, because it'll be a lesson. And I'm not a gambler, right?
Yeah.
But I bet every person who's watching is going to say the same words, all right? Just to give an example of how programmed we are.
Okay.
And then I'll make it a lesson.
What is the topic about? Anything?
So watch this. I'll just show you how the world's programmed.
All right.
Exactly because of, and it doesn't help entrepreneurialism.
Got it.
All right. I was told, go to school growing up. All right. And when I was in regular school, and I was raised in a different country than you were raised, right?
Yeah.
When I was in school, I got told that you have to go to college, but in order to get in the best college possible, when you're in regular school, I got told that I have to get really good
grades.
Oh, funny that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I got to college, didn't end there. I got told that I had to get more good
grades.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about you, but when I left college, my mum and dad became very mean. They didn't want me living at home anymore.
Mm.
I didn't want to live at home anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn. I had to go out there and start making some
money.
Yeah. And the only way I know to make money is to go out and get a
job.
Okay. Has anyone ever shared with you, Johnson, what JOB stands for?
No.
Well, some people might say just over broke.
Yeah.
All right. And then with that just over broke situation, we're expected to save all our money.
Yeah.
And live this glorious
life.
Right. Would you believe me? Every time I'm in a room of people, they all say grades, money, job, life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That, my friend, is programming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're asking an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
To go against that programming.
Mm-hmm.
But we only know the security of get the job. So that's my example. That's why taking the leap is the hard part. Yeah. Taking the leap when you've got a mortgage, the hard part. Taking the leap when you've got kids, hard part. I've always been an advocate for the burn the boats mentality and just go for it. And I still hate, even today, as I'm on a podcast with you, and you know some of the opportunities that are coming my way. 5.5 years ago, I might be like, oh my God, like I can't, like, can you believe, Jamie, that you're sat here so, so comfortable in life? I still have a mentality, Chunston, which is good. That it won't, it's not likely to happen now, but I'll sleep under a bridge before I'll ever go and work for someone in any corporate environment. Yeah. I'm not better than anyone who's working a job in a corporate environment. Yeah. God bless everyone who works and does things, good ethics, good integrity, good morals, like legal. I just have a mentality of preparedness to live under a bridge. And I think entrepreneurs that can have that, they're going to give themselves heightened chances of succeeding. And it's, if you've got kids, it's a legacy of like, I'm not doing what I do to tell my kids to do stuff. I'm showing them by example to do stuff. Yeah. It's just the way that, my dad never told me that I have to go and kick a soccer ball around. I'm certain ingredients that are passed down. And, I'd like to be able to set an example for my kids that they can sleep anywhere. They're not enabled. They're not just handed stuff. Yeah. But no one ever sees the 20 years of work that goes in. Like, so someone will look at me and be like, "Oh, who is he?" Maybe, or, what's like? Oh, he's got it easy because of this accent scenario, or he sounds really smart. No, I worked a job. Yeah. For many, many, many years. Yeah. I just chose to really be disciplined in learning my craft or learning reactions, and in seeing, can I create some kind of predictability? Yeah. And then the other thing is, and this is going to sound like a soundbite, like I already know it, because as we grow and we mature, we learn things, we start getting clarity, things become cliche. Yeah. I've realized I actually don't get paid for what I know. I get paid for my ability to teach what I know to you or someone else so that they can apply it for themselves. Yeah. I didn't know that 5.5 years ago. Why? Because when you start teaching something, you're not as good. But if you keep teaching it, all of a sudden you get better and better and better at it.
So in that time where you're figuring out you wanted to take the leap of faith into entrepreneurship, was that process like, how were you practicing the techniques of teaching communication without even being a communication coach?
Well, no, I thankfully, like, I'm in the space of teaching people how to sell because I knew in my mind how to sell. We all have to have an internal belief, and it starts off with self-talk. Yeah. So there's 3 questions I ask myself. Do I believe in myself? Can I get someone else to believe that I can help them? Yeah. And then the third question, can I get them to place a high value on what I bring them? Yeah. And I started my business. Most entrepreneurs who are watching this or aspiring entrepreneurs, they're probably going to say a sentence like this to themselves. And just like I was talking with Ivan, suddenly you start learning new lessons. But it starts with this. I'll be happy if I earn. I was earning this in corporate America, so I would be happy if I earned this working for myself. And for me, I threw out a figure. Then from May to September, it was a lot of self-talk because I didn't know where my first client was going to come from.
Yeah.
Then I got invited to give a talk at DR Horton in Orlando.
Wow.
That one talk got my business 66 grand as a result of a 1 hour talk in September of 2000. What was it? 2019, September.
Yeah.
But there was May to September where I didn't necessarily know. Like, that's the story that I'm happy to share, where people are like, they have to learn there's no such thing as instant gratification.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. My other goal is to share with the world, you don't have to do activities that you don't enjoy in order to get business. There's not one day in 5.5 years where I've done this all day long.
Yeah.
That's not how I met you. It's not, I believe that if you compound your actions, you enjoy it, you can create what I call sustainability.
Oh, that's good.
You don't injure yourself. And if you're enjoying what you do, you'll do it every day.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing a podcast. This is not work.
Yeah, that's fine.
But technically it's work. It's part, I'm here talking about we're talking about business. If someone watches this and like, dude, I like this guy, I want him in my life, have I really worked that hard for it? No. But what it doesn't take into account is the 20 years that gets you to that point.
Yeah.
But I was selling and bringing on clients. But I also believe in abundance. What's abundance mean? Johnson, you don't have to pay me 1 cent, and I'll share with you what I'm getting paid the equivalent of 30 grand an hour from a group of individuals. Because why? Because as naive as this sounds, the universe does conspire to give you back what you put out to it, in terms of, you can speak up to the universe, you can do things for someone. Don't be attached to the outcome, or don't know. Like, I never know. Someone might watch this podcast in 3 years' time and be like, "Hey, dude, I saw you on Johnson's podcast 3 years ago. Terrific!" And now all of a sudden, I've got a speaking engagement somewhere random. That's a lesson for other people watching.
Yeah.
You can be abundance, help people, and put energy into something.
Yeah.
And don't be attached to the outcome, because you're going to get some cynical people. Why is this person being so nice?
Yeah.
You're not doing it for them. I have friends who will see a post I do on Facebook, and they'll say, "Jamie, what are you posting?" And they're my friends. I'll basically tell them, "You're not my client." All right. And maybe that's a good lesson for entrepreneurs watching. Like, go out there. You want to play on a frequency to attract the Johnsons into your life as a result of what you're doing.
Yeah.
The people, the aspiring entrepreneurs who watch this, they don't necessarily know who's coming into their life as strangers that are going to be glorious people as a result of them taking that leap.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. For the people, let's say, we'll kind of take a pivot right here.
Right.
So let's say there's an introverted person that wants to get into entrepreneurship, and they also want to go to networking events, but they don't necessarily know how to spark up conversations. They don't understand how to build rapport rather than transaction.
Okay.
What would be your advice to them that is like, okay, I want to start getting outside of my shell. What should I start doing now to start working towards having the abundance of opportunities that I say I want in my life?
I'm not always going to say things that people love to hear as advice. All right. Part of me looks to say, even if they're introverted, if they're just sat at home going, they're not going to necessarily get clients for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And if they have actually genuine aspirations for business, have I come across as a nice individual?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you see me, am I smiling?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully, as a lesson for people, that introverted person, when they go networking, I've been to networking events. I'm not alone as that person. There's lots of smiling people.
Yeah.
So my first bit of advice is look around the room. You don't have to be militarist, like military style, like where are my exits or things of that nature.
Yeah.
But the first thing I did when I went networking was I'm looking around, who's friendly? Who's got a friendly demeanor that I can actually approach in communication? The next lesson, I don't know how much time we have. I do a session just on networking line, because most networking classes are come up with your elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And I don't find anything more amateur than that. And I'll say for why. I've got my 45 seconds or my minute 15 where I'm just going to make a bunch of statements.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're the equivalent of? The person in the retail shop saying, "Can I help you?"
Yeah.
Because it's like, thanks for just making a whole load of statements. I don't know if I value.
Yeah.
I'm here that I can teach in communication on your podcast to people who go networking. Someone comes up to them, they're introverted. All right. This is perfect. People buy from people they feel the same as. Do you think your audience, if they're looking at us, they think that we are the same?
Probably no.
No. Why? What are some clear?
I'm black. You
are?
Yeah, I think so.
You sure?
I think so.
My point is, I can build rapport with you, Johnson, by being like, "Hey, mate, are you anything like me? When you come to a networking event, do you like to have fun?"
Yeah.
Okay. You're black, I'm white, but I've made us the same.
Yeah.
If I'm introverted, and let's say you're introverted, you're not, but let's say you were, I'd be like, "Hey, mate, are you?" Like, you go, "What do you do?" That's interesting that you ask that, and the person will smile a bit. Like, I don't know if that you're the same as me on this. But on the way over here, I got myself thinking, like, someone's going to ask, "What do you do?" The idea is we're meant to say something pretty riveting right now, right? Where we're meant to want to meet with each other. I've made it a question-based scenario where I'm introverted. And I didn't say, "Did this happen for you tonight? Has this ever happened for you? Has it ever happened for you?" That you've gone networking and you're like, "Oh my God, someone's going to ask, what do you do?"
Yeah.
The idea is we're meant to come. And then on purpose, I'd say the people that come into my life that have said I provide value, say that I've helped them. If they're a communication coach, well, they probably wouldn't be introverted. If they're an introverted realtor, as an example, they would turn around and be like, "For some reason, my clients have said I've helped them to make a pretty important decision in life. Would you say buying or selling a home?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal."
That makes it so much more interesting.
Well, it's engaging in a...
Yeah.
But here's what most realtors do, introverted or extroverted. What do you do for a living? If they're extroverted and confident, I help people. I'm in the real estate business. I've been doing it for... You're laughing, but all right.
It's a real thing,
If you're a financial advisor, typically an old man financial advisor, what do? I help people with annuities, 401ks. I've done this for 50 years or what have you.
Yeah.
If we analyze the psychology of the communication, it's just a bunch of statements, which means I'm going to cross my fingers.
Yeah.
The idea to make it a lesson, when someone introverted or extroverted goes networking, someone goes, "What do you do?" They should be thinking in their head, "Can I get this person to want to meet with me without oversharing?" And an introverted person should love this because they could literally get away with saying, "Hey, Johnson, like, if you're anything like me, you come to an event like this, maybe it's a bit of an introvert, you or if you've ever like come to an event and it's like someone's going to ask you, what do you do?" The idea is to share something that's really riveting. Can we both agree in 45 seconds it's tough to share everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell you what, let's say we went for a coffee next week. I know, or Carver, I know an awesome space in town that we can go and have that. All right.
Yeah.
Would you at least see a benefit?
Yeah.
In doing that? Okay. Have I shared anything that I do?
Not at all.
Okay, but have I got a meeting in the near future?
Yep.
Okay, so hopefully that's a nice lesson
that was
where
perfect.
It's like you shouldn't have to overshare.
Yeah.
If someone's like really inquisitive, no, dude, like, what do you do? I would say a question. Let's say I know things around this space that you currently don't, and I'd use the words "at least." Would that at least be worth meeting? Why? If I say to you, Johnson, "Do you have time later on today for a call?" You're going to say no. If you say, "Jamie, do you have time?" "Well, I'm picking up my daughter from school. I'm taking my dog Bruce out."
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with excuses. But if you said, "Jamie, let's say there was something I can't do justice in this space of time, and it will really help you," would that at least be worth half an hour later? Because I consciously use the words "at least." Hopefully your audience likes that. Now you've turned a no into a yes.
Yeah.
Isn't the idea in sales to help people?
Yeah. Man. All right. So now we're about to get into it. All right. So
that was good, by the way, for the introvert. Hopefully, like,
that was perfect.
Like, they do exist out there, and I'm all like, go.
Yeah, I was that person. I literally had to force myself outside of my comfort zone to go to networking events. So, like, for example, when I was building the Luminary Panel, this is before an episode, but it was just an idea. I was pitching it as if it was already done for years. But the first person that I met was like, I was shaky. I was a little nervous. I was like, but it taught me that people want to hear about what you do, but only if it benefits them.
I would give some secondary lessons to that make sense to me.
Yeah.
You anchored a thought process in your mind before you do it. Look, we talked out there, like when I was supposed to. If anyone says they haven't gone a month without getting a sale, they're lying right to your face. I don't care. Like there's a lot of the word narcissism, ego. Like I look to remove that. All right.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a sale for a while, like confidence, you don't have to be confident to do a sale. You don't.
Right.
Because I can ask, have you ever been nervous and done something?
Yeah.
The right person? Yes. Okay. The confidence can come from, I'm going to anchor a time in my life that a complete stranger loved me before I deliver this message. Now my tonality comes across. You're like, I haven't got a sale. Yeah, I've got that anchor. If I ever had a conversation with someone who's a complete stranger, and that just leads to an extra point, you don't want to do business with friends. You don't want friends as clients. Every industry, because they'll take up more time, they'll want way more, and you'll feel inclined for way less money if you're a business.
That's good.
And I share with you, everyone wants sphere of influence, all right? And they think they have to go with their sphere, and they're taught to do it. You and I never knew each other. I let the universe and the frequency play in the way that you and I can connect, and hopefully people can be like, oh my God, I can play on a frequency that people vibe with what I'm bringing out there. So no, I love you sharing. The other lesson is, if you do go out your comfort zone, they say that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
My hope is for them to understand there are nice people out there. Like you like, just know that you can meet nice strangers who have been where you are. You've just got to pose a question. Have you ever been there? The second they say yes, now you're going to feel more confident, comfortable.
Right. So we've been talking about keywords, like at least and yet and when. Why is that so important when it comes to consciously communicating? Because again, it goes back to what I said earlier. A lot of people don't understand the difference between talking and communicating. So I believe that's a part, or for me, you can tell me if I'm wrong because you're the coach.
Okay. I'm whatever. I like it where I'm whatever someone tells me. I love the fact you didn't like read from your phone. This is Jamie Miller. He is this. No, but when like people, that's something that I make sure when someone says, can I get a bio or a headshot? I'm like, just tell them why you think I would be valuable for them to listen to in your own words. And it's way more organic.
I agree.
Right, from that standpoint. But words are critical in my way of, in my head, consciously using certain words, consciously using the word believe. You said the word believe before, like, by the way, that's on my back of my phone. All right. For audience. The word yet, I call it the sweetest little word. Do you know most people you ask if they're doing sales of any nature, they might feel like they're great at the discovery. They're great at asking the questions in the discovery. They're great at finding out and gathering information. Do you know what? When it comes to asking for the business, oh God, they go to this like almost like nail biting in their head, like I've got to ask for the business. I say that if you've built rapport sufficiently, if you've evoked emotion, what evoking emotion is getting someone to tell you why you're going to be helpful to them, not you telling them why you're going to be helpful, getting them opening up. Why would it be helpful? And then it should just be a seamless call to action. I call it seamless call to action. It shouldn't be difficult. There's no nail biting. Yeah. Well, words like yet make it very easy. Words like believe make it very easy. Words like at least make it a lot easier when you consciously use them. I'll give you an example. Have you learned anything from me today yet that you didn't know that you believe can help you going forward? Yeah. Yes. Okay. What was that?
How to consciously communicate.
Okay. Why is that important to you, Johnson?
I want to use those tools to open up other opportunities.
Okay. Do you believe that with my help, all right, after this interview, that I could genuinely help you on that front? Yeah. Okay. And what kind of value do you place on being good in communication? Low or really high?
Really high.
Really high. Okay. have I told you what the investment is?
No.
But have I got you to tell me that you have learned something, you believe I can help you, all right, and that you value it at a high level?
Yeah.
Without telling you these things, I can do that to anyone in this audience. I would just get them to elaborate on more things. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about
Why is that so important for them to elaborate more?
Because the more talking they do, like, I'll give you an example. You can plant a seed psychologically too. Like, you probably don't, but I can tailor a conversation. If I'm in front of a parent, hey man, some people tell me that they love the idea of being able to leave a legacy for their kids. Is that something that's important to you?
Yeah.
Well, they likely say no. Like, you can bring your own humor into it too. Like, you do not need a British accent to do this stuff, but I would be like, hey, look, I've got kids.
It helps though.
You might not always like them, but do you love your kids? And then the person's going to laugh. Like, it's called creating predictability. I knew when earlier you said you're black and I'm white. It's predictable. I know I can say, you can build rapport. If you send me black hand emojis, I'm not sending you black hand emojis back.
Yeah.
The fact that you laugh, Johnson, all you're telling me is you're my kind of person.
Yeah.
Vibes with me. Do you see where I'm going with, like, if you didn't laugh, I'd be like, oh, well, you're the 1 out of 10 people that just doesn't. We're not going to work as a client scenario.
Yeah.
The idea is, Johnson, I don't have to ask you for a commitment to sign up with me.
Yeah.
But I ask you all those questions. If you're genuine as a host and you actually believe those things, you're going to be like, Jamie, dude, how do I hire you? But it's the same for any industry, any person. If you get in front of them, but you use the word yet on purpose to get a gauge. Have you learned anything from me yet? If you say, no, I haven't, I'll be like, what is one thing I can teach you, Johnston, that you don't know? As an example, it doesn't end my dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm a financial. Have you heard everything you need to hear from me yet to feel confident that I can look after your finances? No, I haven't. Okay, great. Like, what is one thing specifically that you would have to hear from me to feel that sense of confidence?
That's so good. Yeah.
I haven't ended the dialogue.
Yeah.
I've gone in. If I ask, hey, do you believe I can help you? And you get a no, that's a tough spot.
Yeah.
To then say. Yet the word believe is the most powerful word. What did I say at the beginning? The self-talk. Two of the questions are believe. Do I believe myself? Can I get someone else to believe I can help them? As long as I've got that, Johnson, I'm going. Very difficult to not do something that you genuinely believe.
Wow.
Rollins College is down the street from us. People are spending $300,000 today to go for a liberal arts education.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to repeat that for the audience.
Yeah, don't say that again.
But then I'm like, no one has an excuse for what they pay.
Yeah.
Iman gave me one of the greatest lessons. He goes, I knew you would learn it. When he heard me say, this is what I want to earn a year. And then last year I had an epiphany and I proved price is irrelevant. You can ask for whatever. We cap ourselves. Like whatever your audience, we all limit ourselves to what we feel we deserve or what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And I had to learn last year, price is irrelevant. When someone values something, hey, did you go to college?
No.
Okay. Do you know people who went to college?
Yeah.
How much did they pay?
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot. Okay. Do you think that I've taught things during this podcast that person watching has learned something that they didn't learn in college?
Yeah.
Do you think it might be more valuable than what they learned in college?
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as I'm cheaper than what they pay for college, is it a sensible investment? Okay.
Wow. So let's talk about that.
Do you see how, like, but some, they can't afford me. No, you just didn't get them to value you in the right way at that moment in time. You didn't evoke enough emotion.
Yeah.
What is having me going to do for you in your life?
So do you think evoking more emotion can overcome objections?
If you gather enough information.
Okay.
If I gather enough information, I'm not going to do this on your podcast, Johnson, in terms
we could do it. We're here, baby. We're here now.
You really...
Let's go.
It's going to be very fresh.
Let's go.
Okay. Do you think I know more than you in communication?
Yes.
You mean you like me, you like genuine.
I like genuine.
Okay, so you telling me that I know more than you, because you said go there, all right? I'm just going to do this for your audience.
That's good. That's good.
You factually think I know more than you in communication.
Only because you've figured out a way to use communication and monetize it.
Right.
So in this culture, or at least the way I see it, if you're able to monetize it and you're doing a really good job at it, that means you're an expert at it.
Okay.
I haven't had the expertise, I guess, factor behind it. So I would say yes.
Okay. Where does having me in your life help you in terms of what you're looking to achieve?
Shout out to one of our sponsors, Zico Space and Clubhouse. As you guys know, we did the Luminary Panel Season 1 on Zoom, and so we were looking for a podcast studio to film. And now here I am in Zico Space and Clubhouse, and here they have multiple rooms, one being the lounge, a conference room, and a podcast studio. They serve many different beverages, including tea, coffee, and kava. And their main mission is to be a place where people can come together and work together. So if you can, stop by. It's right outside of downtown Orlando, and it's a great place to work and meet others. Hope you try it.
I want to become a global speaker and do what you're doing, but yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting you just said you want to become a global speaker and then you ended with and do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So how would it feel, Johnson, if you were doing that?
Challenging for sure. It'll be exhilarating. It'll be opportunity for me to create opportunities for other people around me.
Okay. Do you remember earlier when we made the lesson Evoke Emotion, which got us into this topic in the first place?
Yeah.
And I said, just be genuine, right? Which
Yeah.
you're going to be. I'm telling you what I'm going to do as I'm doing it so that the audience can be like, it's this.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the life-changing part and helping people.
I think because I had a hard time in the beginning of building this, where I was going through a lot of stuff, and I realized that the people around me were dependent on me to be my best self. And at that moment, I felt like I wasn't at my best self. So the way I feel like I can change the people's around me's life and the people that I want to inspire's life is by speaking.
Is there any particular person that comes to mind as I share that with? Go ahead.
My daughter.
Oh, wow. So what have I just... Okay, so watch this.
Yeah.
What have I just gathered in information? So just as a lesson for your audience, I've gathered that you've got a daughter.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's big.
That's big.
Yeah.
What? Look how easy...
Yeah.
All right. Do you love your daughter?
Of course.
I love my daughter. Build rapport. Black, white. I have a daughter. I've got a daughter with a purple heart after I named my friend because my favourite colour is purple. So okay. What kind of value do you place on becoming a global speaker and being life-changing for your daughter, Johnson?
Very high.
Some people say priceless, right? Do you believe in the notion of learning from someone who's been there, done it, got the T-shirt? Because I didn't invent that concept. So you do believe in that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'd like to believe have I come across like I'm a good person?
Yeah.
Did I come on this podcast with any element you think of, I'm going to bring you on as a client today?
No.
No. See, your audience can see, you can ask a question and get a no response too. I can even make it a lesson in multiple choice question. Would I be an alien from another planet, or would my feet be firmly on Earth, Johnson, to feel like I can help you? Is that a natural thought?
Yeah.
And I've come across as a great person.
Yeah.
Do I seem ethical?
Yeah.
Good integrity?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to hold your hand for your life?
Yeah.
Do I seem like someone that's going to become your friend as well? So we can have a transaction. Yeah, I'm going to be there for you. And I like the idea of you leaving a legacy for your daughter too.
Yeah.
And I get to help people and change lives.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't go to college. You shared that. I gathered that information earlier.
Yeah.
But you did say you think it's a very high value, right? Okay. Watch where I take this into a question. And you've heard everything you need to hear from me to know that I can help you.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see where 12 grand is a sensible investment to have me in your life for life?
Yeah.
You can. Okay. So what should you be doing when it comes to my services, Johnson? What should you be doing at this moment in time?
Ready to pay.
Ready to pay.
Yeah.
Now, the truth of the matter is I've not done it ever on a podcast, but technically I could pull up my Square account on my phone.
Yeah.
And all I can ask you, would you believe I've had people, I've taken them through that line of questioning, and you told me you believe it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I share with you, if you truly believe, you don't say no, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to do it this second, and you can tell the audience whether you did or didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just showing as an example of communication. I didn't tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I just gather information, get you to an emotional space, have you elaborate on certain things. That's what, but as long as you're being genuine and you know you can deliver.
Yeah.
I just deliver for life coaching so that when you get on stage, you're asking best questions of an audience. I've had clients come on from podcasts, not the hosts necessarily, because you, as I said when we cut out for a bit, I said you asked for that, right? You're like, bring it.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
But where I mostly make my living is speaking on stages, and then getting people to approach me. You want to learn how to do that. You believe there is certain things you do during a talk where you stay away from asking bad questions of an audience. As long, and it's just being as long as you can be stand up to someone. Yeah, that's it.
Bro, this is so good, man.
This is so good. I would hope that your audience is like, damn, that was fresh. They've never seen someone.
That's big. You know why? It's because I take pride with every person that sits across here. I want them to be not only comfortable, but I want them to be authentic. I want them to feel like they are back when they started becoming an entrepreneur, because that's who's watching. These people are trying to figure out, what should I do next? Or even if they're in a corporate setting, they're like, okay, I want to make the leap, or how can I be an entrepreneur in this setting? Like, I want the people that are here, because I intentionally picked the people that are on as guests because of that reason. Because I know they bring immense value. I know that they have a heart and a passion to help other people. And this podcast is probably like top 2, not 2, man. This is incredibly valuable.
So consciously in communication, when I come here, I'm not caring about myself. I'm a reflection on you. When I get invited, when you go to a restaurant, the biggest compliment you can give is you get invited back again, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I give a talk, the reason I'm able to generate almost like a residual income each year to year is because when I give a talk in 2022, they love me so much they bring me back for 2023. Then they love me so much they bring me back for 2024.
Yeah.
Now I've created a pipeline. Every time I see Iman or you, it's left with a good feeling. People remember the way you leave them feeling.
Yeah.
If your audience is predominantly aspiring entrepreneurs looking to take the leap in the first place, during this podcast, if they watch it, I just taught them, there's no script, but there is a framework of how do I get someone to an emotional space?
Yeah.
What is one thing that you're looking to do? Right? Why is that? How would that feel if they're paying attention? Like, tell me more about this. It's a simple dialogue for someone to have. There's more that can be broken down into it. For example, I'm always asking, what is one thing? You happen to say, be a speaker. You don't want to ask the brain to think of several things. I have a truck parked in the driveway here. Why? Because I wanted to feel like a man. That was the one reason I bought a truck, being vulnerable with your audience. If the dealer starts telling me all the other features and benefits and I don't value them, and then turn around and say, can I get a truck on the lot for cheaper? If I start saying, now it wouldn't be far-fetched for me to say, do you care about how you communicate with your daughter? I kind of know where you're not going to be like, no, I don't at all.
Yeah.
All right. So I can elevate value around that. If I start telling you, hey, I'm going to teach you neurolinguistic programming, I'm going to teach you how to get on the phone with someone and cold call, but you're like, dude, I don't want to do that. You're like, can I get you for less? If I just ask you, what do you value, do you place on just the speaking part, just the global part, it's immense. As a lesson for your audience, they only have to ask someone, what is one thing that the other person would value as a result of having them in their lives?
Wow.
And then layer the emotion, the questions.
Yeah. That's so good, man. Damn. All right. I know this could be...
I'm happy to be in the top.
Man, listen.
I'm happy to set a high bar for anyone else going forward
as a guest
sat in this seat.
That's a high bar right there. We probably gonna have to create a whole segment for you, man. We're gonna start a whole segment because that's another thing that we want to do soon. Like our goal, this will lead us into our last question.
Okay.
Because I have so many, but we'll end it like this. So some of our goals for the Luminary Panel are bigger than I thought a year ago, because we've been in this thing for a year and we accomplished so much. So one of the things is creating our own app where we could bring people like you, and it becomes like an online course monthly or something like that, like stuff like that. So we have that, and then also I wanted to get a Netflix series doing this, and then it's so many things.
Right.
In your opinion, obviously we've had a few interactions. You kind of started to. This is your first interaction with the Luminary Panel, other than when we're doing the Stand for Success promo thing. But again, our goal is to become the immediate resource for all inspiring and aspiring entrepreneurs.
Right.
What do you think for our platform, for us to reach that goal? What are some of the things that we should do from your perspective?
So being big in practicing what I preach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love, well done on making it to a year. Most businesses don't do that. So first off, I can give praise.
Thank you.
And you guys will witness, as I said, well done. John's got a smile on his face. People love praise. There's an additional lesson. Fine. But it's got to be genuine praise.
You going to sneak down in there like that?
It's got to be genuine, though. I'm not saying, like, seriously, as you shared stuff, I'm listening, which is the key ingredient to communication.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, we've reached our year point. I'm like, well done. Like, that's not, like, anyone should be able to give praise to someone who's reached a year.
Yeah.
You said we're doing this app, and I look at that as I've tested and measured things. The truth of the matter is, you don't know, we don't know if the app's successful or not successful.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. The only reason someone doesn't have success as an entrepreneur is they start something.
Mm-hmm.
You start it and you keep compounding action. It's going to become something.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't create that. That's just factual. I eat healthy every day. I go to the gym every day. My body's going to sit there. Just what I shared earlier. There's no instant gratification.
Yeah.
So first off, have delayed gratification in your mindset.
Got it.
Of, I want to do this. I know it's helping other people. We're going to start this app. Be prepared to not recognize where you're at in 5 years as a result of compounding actions that you love doing. If you love having people like me come along and do stuff, the value will speak for itself. That people then start talking to other people, and then you'll attract infrequently. Just don't stop. Find things you can do sustainable that don't injure yourself. I don't invest a bunch of money into marketing that I don't have in order to attract or get business. It didn't cost me 1 cent to be sat in this seat. Yet someone out there could be like, I want this guy in my life. Like, I really want this guy. Didn't cost me anything to find them. It's just a vibe, frequency that they bought into, right? That I will then genuinely provide back to them.
Yeah.
But it's also being able to have the conviction of, if you did invest in me, like, I'm not attached to the money. The money doesn't change what I do in my life next month or next year. It's more about, and you heard me say this out there, if it's not a good fit, I'm like, dude, here's your money back. I don't, there's no signed agreement. The reason I share all that is you want to attract people that there's no amount of money worth making that's going to be a headache person. So you create your vibe for the app. Okay. And then the third part is I would focus on what I call golden geese. Technically, you're a golden goose for me. I go with the golden goose principle.
Okay.
What that is find one person who puts you in front of many people. What are you? You're one person puts me in front of many people.
Got it.
When you're speaking on a global stage, any stage you speak on, you're one person speaking on the stage in front of multiple people. You said, Jamie, you should do your own podcast at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm the fun uncle.
Yeah.
And then people, do you know how many people said, Jamie, you should put on an event?
Yeah.
Go and get invited to events where the person putting an event, in my opinion, and it's a genuine compliment, I could see where you could be invited to speak at events.
I appreciate that.
And make it colourful. Do you understand? Like the amount of times and then here's what ends up happening. You start to get told things, then you start believing things.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So I am speaking somewhere that's a pretty big deal that I'm not going to jinx.
Yeah.
All right, in October. Once that happens, all right, once that particular event has happened, do you know how many times in the last 5 years people have come up to me, Jamie, we paid a speaker $200,000 to come and give a talk at this national convention. They were so boring. You would be amazing to have there. What will happen for your self-belief is you start to get told, look, I tell you, you could definitely be on stages. It's a genuine compliment, but it's also a seed that gets planted.
Yeah.
Then what happens is you get on the stage. Then you get someone in the audience come up to you. Hey, will you come and talk at this event? And now, Johnson, you get to anchor not just when did this happen with a stranger I don't have any business. You're starting to get it anchored on actual talks that you're giving.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're on a stage that you wouldn't have envisioned that you would have been on.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I would focus on golden geese. Find one person, put you in front of many. As an example, analogy, because you liked analogies. If I'm a realtor, I'm making friends with a couple of divorce attorneys. Why? Because everyone, when they get divorced, they want to sell the house. When? Very quickly. All right. So much so, I don't care how much I get. I just want out of this house.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if the wife or the husband trusts a divorce attorney, right, aren't they likely to trust who the divorce attorney recommends them as a realtor?
Yeah.
Oh, and then by the way, where my head goes, okay, I get a client from a divorce attorney. Just from experience, 50% of their friends are going to get divorced. So now I've got one person that loves me who's going to talk to 50% of their friends about me when they're ready to sell.
Yeah.
Is it okay to provide a service like that? And then you're attracting business your way. But there's got to be the don't quit. Like I call it, don't start, stop. Because here's what happens for the start, stop people. I've got this great idea. I'm going to start it. Then they stop because they don't get instant gratification. Yeah. And then here's what happens. The idea doesn't go away. We've all had it. And someone it's just a case of don't start, stop. Because if you stop and you take off too long, you now get back to square one. But you don't have to do something so routine. Like I've got clients where they'll be in the gym at 5 a.m. on the nose every morning. They're so disciplined. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. shouting affirmations, going to gym. I just make sure every day I make it to the gym.
That's a whole different conversation, man.
It is, but it's just a sustainable activity.
Yeah.
Honestly, people should be able to view this and be like, if Johnson invited me back tomorrow and then the next day, would this be an enjoyable activity in order to build business? And I would say yes. Okay. So the only thing for me right now is I've got myself to a place where it's true attraction. There is no chasing. When people start out, there has to be a little element of chasing. There's got to be I don't have to go networking to get business. In fact, I don't have to even speak. I speak on stages because I love speaking on stages. I just don't chase speaking engagement. And I'm just as a lesson for people, if they can, if you would have said, Jamie, did you ever think you'd get to a place where you would turn down 48 grand for a summer for 4 speaking engagements, purely based on conviction that you said you weren't going to do anything June and July, so you can teach other people you can have an existence. Yeah. Where you look at your calendar, it's just like, I'm only going to do 100 hours of work the entire year, take off June and July, just so I can teach an entrepreneur such as yourself, where you're like, I want to spend all the time in the world with my daughter. I don't want to miss anything. Yeah. I can show you how to do that. Without it being, it's all legitimately, I think the term that the youngsters use, I have the receipts.
That's perfectly said. Yeah.
I think that hopefully there's lots of lessons, takeaways for the audience. Some bit they might have to watch back to really be like
grasp.
Yeah, to grasp for themselves. Like, what do you do at this point? What do you do? Because everything I do is always designed as a lesson, as clarity for someone. Yeah. If you do the Golden Goose Principle, there is one person that can, and you don't have to. I don't have a speaker agency. I don't. Yeah. I'd rather not.
That's one of our goals too, to become one.
Okay, so I can put this out there. This is great. And again, nothing happens by accident. I love that quote. So I was looking for my son to even come work for me on this. All right, he's my son. He didn't get a choice in the matter. All right, necessarily to be my son. Yeah. But if I want speaking engagements for 2025, knowing where I'm speaking in 2024, and you get told you could earn 200 grand, I'm like, would I be happy earning 25, 50 grand. Like I've done talks where I've got paid, and it's rare. The pandemic created lots of different opportunities to get paid 84 grand. All right, to sit at my breakfast table and do a virtual talk.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. You know, or to do a 1 hour talk in 2024 and have people come up to you at the end that made you 168 grand as a result of giving a 1 hour talk.
Yeah.
Lovely. Fantastic. To get myself to a place where I can help others, where they can create an existence, where if they're selling something and they don't love it and they're spending a lot of time during their day, I'm like, look, if you've got a relationship with someone that wants a speaker and they're going to pay 50 grand, 100 grand, 150, 200 grand, I'm happy to share 50% back with the person. Like, again, I never know who, like, hold on a minute, ding, 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 ding. Like, you'll give me, if I get 150 grand talk, you'll give me 75 grand. Yeah. Right. The business is we can have win-win situations in life.
Yeah.
I'm just not here to tell people, you have to go do this. You have to do it. It's just a case of people will say if they don't see the post on social media, it never happened.
Right. I'm like, what?
Nothing happens by accident.
Yeah.
You said, we're going to form a speaker kind of agency. I'm like, well, like you get me gigs. You might be like, we were happy to give 25 to collect 20%, 25%. But I get to share as a potential client of your speaker agency for something like this. Dude, I'm likely to say no a lot. Do you understand? Like, most speaker agencies don't want to hear that. They want to, like, we're going to put Jamie forward for this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're sending me off to Timbuktu and thinking I'm going to jump on a plane and it's worth it to me. No. Do you now, there's certain places in Arizona and Nashville, California, where I love going. I'll spend a couple extra days.
Yeah.
Do you see why? Because I've done that. I've been to those places. If I get to go skiing in Salt Lake City and talk, glorious.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because it's factually happened. When you're looking to be a speaker, I'm here to tell you in abundance, Johnson, you don't have to accept every speaking gig. But everything, when you live in a place, like you're around the corner from my house, Johnson.
Yeah.
All right. Anything in Orlando, I'm just like, yeah, no, dude, I'll come along there. Why? Because I've got nothing else going on that day, and it's getting me around. As long as they're good people, I would love for people to watch this and be like, life is not easy, but it can be simple.
Yeah.
And no one says you have to hang around with people you don't like.
That's
After
so
this
good.
podcast, we can go out there and have fun and talk to Iman.
Yeah.
It's genuine fun.
Yeah.
You've had other guests on this show that I genuinely like hanging out with. A Kerry, like it's not a, oh my God, like really? It's a, like this is, I think it's a great thing for people to hear. You can be around good people.
Yeah.
You don't have to get head. In fact, I encourage you, ask questions of people before you bring them on. Just like you would a relationship. You would hope that people don't waste their time, go to an intuition.
Yeah.
Same thing in business.
Yeah.
There was a lot to unravel there.
No, that was perfect. I appreciate that sincerely. Well, where can they find you on social media, man?
Yes, right. I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and she says I'm like almost like ancient now. All right. No, because I learned a lesson from someone. Give a shout out. She's lovely, by the way, if you ever have her on here. Her name's Tiffany Napper, and she talked about pick your fork. Because some people say, you need to be everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, like have this channel. And I'm not everywhere.
Yeah.
So Facebook is where I've always posted everything. Okay. And I have a theory behind if I post on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, I have a business Facebook. I don't even do the switch to look at, I get notifications. I don't even switch to look at what's going on my business page. On my personal Facebook, I have a theory that they get to see my professional life, but they also get to see my personal life. Me going with my daughter to New York or my son to Comic-Con. And they're like, I like this guy. He's a real guy. He's not like just flying on private jets or driving a Lambo and things that are superficial. In certain ways. So everyone can find me on Facebook.
Okay.
However, I've started to do some posting on Instagram to try and be a bit more hip or cooler.
Yeah.
All right. LinkedIn is interesting. I have people where I'll say to them, what's your LinkedIn? I'm like, if you're going to my LinkedIn, you're not going to hire me if that's where you put your emphasis. Because I don't really, because I try and make it a lesson. You don't have to be somebody to get ahead. But essentially, I'd say Facebook is my
Number
one
one.
place that ages me. And I have a theory that people, because they're older on Facebook,
Yeah.
they scroll slower.
Yeah.
So like
I just
I don't know if
got
there's
back
any
onto
dynamic.
Facebook, which is funny, and it's actually beneficial. It's actually like a good platform.
Look again. I think it's a bad thing and good thing. It's not a good thing that that anyone in the world
Yeah.
is attached
Yeah, I agree.
to a device. Yeah, it's glorious that my whole business can sit in my whole entire phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you understand? Like my whole business are notes in my phone. That's it. Like
Wow.
I don't have any fancy, glamorous this. Like I didn't even bring my laptop along here today.
Yeah.
And that's my only, business expense. For any aspiring entrepreneurs, don't have to have an X before you have Y. Don't worry about look, truthfully, watch this. This studio, has it always looked like this or has it evolved?
Yeah, evolved.
Okay, great lesson for people.
That's good.
You don't feel like, look, this is the iPhone 15. We started with the one.
Mm-hmm.
It evolves. As entrepreneurs who are aspiring, inspiring, whatever the term you want to use, they have to evolve. You're going to do an app, it will evolve. You're going to do let things organically evolve. I told Iman I'll never have an employee or a VA, and now what? I've got a VA. Like you can't say never to something, but don't do anything against your. If you have a belief around something, don't let anyone break that cycle. But no, social media, Facebook.
Okay.
Like, I'm glad to hear. How old are you?
26.
Okay, I'm glad to hear you're I'm 21 years older than you, and I guess I can still be hip to the youngsters.
You can be hip, man. Facebook is hip now. I see how beneficial it is.
I think I'm trying to remove myself a little bit, and Iman knows this too. I keep bringing up his name because obviously that's who we met through.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do a whole world where I don't post so much from the standpoint of, I'm even trying to think of not posting a talk I'm doing in California. I was like in the gym the other day.
Yeah.
I really want to get business so I can share as a lesson with people. You don't have to be big. And I'm trying to pull myself off Facebook. I'm reading a lot where you have to be able to do a business that's structured where it doesn't rely upon just Facebook or just because we never know what you try and create offline situations and you don't have to have thousands. It's not a numbers game.
Yeah.
You and me, it's the quality of conversation that we have when we're in front of each other. It's not you're a number in my head and now I figure out that's one no, I'm one no close. No. Quality of the conversation you have in front of someone.
Yeah.
So for your guest, communication, how quality of a conversation am I having?
Yeah.
How much of a relationship am I building? All right. And then realize you go from transactional to becoming friends with people.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's my biggest advice to people is do activities you enjoy and be around people
that you enjoy.
It will make life glorious. Oh,
thanks, man.
No, my pleasure.
Well, that was a wrap. That was an incredible conversation with Mr. Jamie Miller, the one and only Jamie Miller. Find him on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram. We don't have a TikTok. You can find me on LinkedIn. But thank you guys for watching. Peace out.
As we conclude this episode of the Luminary Panel, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Jamie Miller for sharing his invaluable insights and experiences with us today. Jamie's expertise in communication, his innovative coaching platform, and his ability to enhance business interactions across various platforms have provided us with powerful lessons on improving our messaging and driving successes. Be sure to follow us on social media at the Luminary Panel to stay updated on future episodes and more enlightening conversations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with friends and colleagues who you think could benefit from Jamie's wisdom. Your support helps us continue to bring you more inspiring conversations with leaders like Jamie Miller.